basement. Level vibes with another one. Straight up. Blackness, aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop.
Are you confident that you're going to deliver credible and fair elections?
Of course. Only one way I know, and that is the correct way.
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. Yeah, Sam. PPP. Yeah, this is the elite team. Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Stand-up guy. I don't see Jagdew as a fearful person. And I continue to ask myself, why they allow the PNC to get away with the crimes that they continue to.
I've lived in Guyana and I've attended multilateral school. And from my primary days in school to secondary school, I've learned and I've understood that Guyana covers 83 square miles of landmass.
The next measure that I want to speak about is one that I'm very excited about. We care tremendously about the women in our society. And one of the issues that has been affecting women across the world is cervical cancer.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right, let's get ready to rock and roll. Good evening to all of you. And those of you who have shared the link, I just said a prayer for you guys. All those who share the link, they just got a prayer. I pray that this tax season, things will be nice with you guys, and you guys will be able to bless up some folks out in Guyana and wherever else you so desire. That's just for those who will be filing their taxes. Good evening to all of you. Welcome to Straight Up. Let's get ready to rock and roll right here on 107. You guys didn't hear that. Lemon and I were practicing, and so it was a dry run. It was a dry run. That's what it was, a dry run. All right, so let's see here what's happening. Good night to all of you. We're going to rock and roll this evening. Let me see here. This thing about the teachers' protest. How many are in favor of the teachers' protest? How many of you are in favor of the teachers' protest? Come on, guys. I am. But I hope it's not just for a half a day. I hope it's not just for one day. I hope it's not just for 2 days. Come on, guys. Teachers' protest. How many of you are in favor of the teachers' strike, the protest? I am. Throughout the country, sacrifices have to be made. I repeat, sacrifices have to be made. Sacrifices have to be made. Teachers' protest. Sacrifices have to be made. Come on, Eon Winters. I sound like I know there was somebody who had something on social media, and that's come on, guys, come on. I am. All of you. in favor of the teachers' strike. The teachers strike throughout the country for better pay, better treatment. You don't want any mako just dumping stuff onto our teachers' laps and our students' laps and so forth and so on. We don't want that. We just don't want that at all. We don't want that at all. Okay. Oh, you guys know who's here. Oh, so you did a story today about Rosa Parks, right? For Black History Month. What you guys learned about Rosa Parks? Let's hear. What happened, Rosa Parks? What happened where was she?
The front.
The front of the bus, and what happened?
The white people said, go sit in the back. And then she said, I paid. I don't want to sit in the back.
And then she said she paid. She didn't want to sit in the back. And what happened?
She went to jail.
She went to jail. Wow. And who came at the bus and saw her?
Martin Luther King.
Dr. Martin Luther King. And what did he say?
We need all the love.
We need all the love.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good job.
And then Martin Luther King was marching with the people.
He was marching with the people?
He was marching in Christmas. He was marching in the month of January. He was marching in Valentine's Day. And then he was holding a sign up. And then he threw Rosa Parks.
He did to Rosa Parks and supported Rosa Parks. Good. Say hi, everyone. And happy, what is it? Start of Black History Month, right? Good. Good job. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Good. Okay. Close the door for that. Emma waits until I'm on the air, and she knows exactly what she's doing. She wants to tell you guys about her story. She wants to tell you guys about Rosa Parks. She just wants to tell you guys every single thing, and which is good. All right, sorry about that. Slight technical difficulties. It's Black History Month, right? And Emma just came in to remind me that it is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, the start of Black History Month. And I want to say this to a lot of folks. Some of them are my relatives and friends who are in Queens. Some of them live in an attic. Some of them live in a nice big house. Some of them live in the basement. Some of them just wherever they live in Queens and other parts. And those who love to say horrible things about Black folks, I want to remind them that this is Black History Month, and the sacrifices made that all of us are enjoying in the United States of America, whether it's Queens, whether it's Brooklyn, wherever you are, whether it's Arizona, wherever you are, all of us are enjoying that. And we've got to say thank you for those who paved the way. At the one time, Queens couldn't. They were discriminating against Guyanese, Indian brothers and sisters from Guyana. They were discriminating, and it was the Black brothers and sisters who came to the rescue. And they were able to pave the way so that everybody can enjoy the good life in America. Happy Black History Month to all of you, every single one of you. All right, so hey, guess what's going to happen now? Let's get ready to rock and roll right here on 107.1 FM. The strike, the teachers' strike. Back to the teachers' strike. Back to the teachers' strike. Back to the teachers' strike. Let's go. Jai Sri Khan. Jai Sri Khan. Hey, this is a Hindu and a Muslim name, you know. Jai Sri Khan. Namaste and salam alaikum. Or if you're a Christian, hey, how are you? Good. Here is what comical. Big joke. Thank you. Yep. We showed everybody. Sorry about that, guys. But you know, when I was Emma's age, if I had done that to my father, man, the monk to get out and from here, put a lash on you, and put the belt on you, and all manner. But times have changed, guys. We've got to be patient, and we've got to keep encouraging our kids. Someone sent me a photograph of last night's show, and guess what? They were in. This is what they sent me. I don't know how you guys watch the show, but this was last night, and they sent me. This was out in Guyana. The entire family, and they were watching, and well, of course, they were showing off their TV, right? All right. So this protest tomorrow, this starting, I believe, from Monday. You've got to support the protest. You've got to support the protest. Before we get to that, I'll be joined. There's a surprise guest. You'll see her when she gets on with us. We were talking about good people visiting schools and doing good things and inspiring our young minds, which is what we want. And I recall this person, Kelly Isle. Kelly Isles. Remember this young girl? She was all over the news. She went. She was on this guy. You know those guys, man, on TV. She went on a lot of those shows. She was on CNN. She was on BBC. She was on NBC. She was on ABC. She was all over. She got into a lot of colleges, universities, and all 8 Ivy Leagues, she got accepted to, and she chose Harvard. Well, Kelly Isles graduated from Harvard with her undergrad, and she went on to Stanford Medicine. She's Dr. Kelly Isles. Dr. Kelly Isles. But Kelly, when she got accepted to Harvard or to all of the 8 Ivy Leagues, she visited Guyana. And she was at the schools in Bartica, in Georgetown, in Linden, in Vizslust. Is that what you? Yeah, she was all over. And she was inspiring young people. This is what we need, guys. And this is what I'm talking to you guys about. Thank you, Eon Williams. She was also on the Steve Harvey show. Hi, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. We're experiencing some technical problems here. So we're back. So let's just move on. So Kelly Isles, Kelly visited a lot of schools in Guyana, and she spread a positive message. This is the sort of message we need for our young people. Again, I repeat, this is the sort of message that we need for our young people across the country in schools. Great job, Kelly, when she did this. We need more of this. We need more of this. Going to visit our school children and handing out a $2,000 and talking crap to them and feel as though a big gold chain is it. It's not. It is not. It is not. Godfrey Williams, we don't encourage that here from certain individuals. You see, that's the problem. We expect individuals like that to do things, and then, I'm sure that Shamar Joseph would get more than enough and do not need. So Godfrey Williams, we do not promote that sort of extradition sort of begging of that individual here at all. We just don't. But guess who is with us this evening? Welcome to Straight Up, Shadow Minister of Education, also General Secretary of the China Teachers Union, Ms. Coretta McDonald. Good evening to you, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, Mark. Good evening to you, and how are you doing? Thanks for having me on your program. Good night to your viewers.
Yeah. All right, so I'm sure that folks are hearing us loud and clear. I was just talking about the likes of a Kelly Isles going into the schools and talking to the young people, letting them know how she started a very humble beginning at Brycelas Primary, and she made it all the way to the US, a top high school, and from that got into dozens of colleges and universities, made it all the 8 Ivy Leagues. She accepted Harvard. She's currently finishing up her PhD or MD at Stanford School of Medicine. Quite the kind of role model in our schools, huh?
Well, that is saying to us, Mark, and we need to remind that little boy, Charles Ransons, who can't pronounce words, that we do have Black role models. A couple of months ago or a year ago, he said we didn't have.
Yes. So now that you've mentioned that, as we move on, I'm sure you saw the battle. And this is the battle of the two. Priya Manikchan responded some Jamil Changali and said, I don't appoint nor disappoint ministers, so I wouldn't know. Then Nigel Dharamlal said, people are paying attention. That's why the news every day point to the education sector in disarray, whilst you lay blame at everyone else except yourself. And this is Dharamlal talking to Priya Manikchan. I know I've never seen or heard you agree with anything Dharamlal has said, but do you agree with what he has said here now today?
Well, it was just a matter of time, Mark, because we all know that education is in disarray since Priya was there before as minister. She created madness in the education sector. When she did not remove the qualified technical persons, she went into the schools and she created the No Child Left Behind policy. And that is why now we're saddled with many children who can't read.
And so she left Nigel behind too.
Well, you could say that. Outside of that, Mark, she went there and she encouraged all schools, the turnaround of all schools to become secondary schools. You remember at Manchester, we had Building School, which was a community high school that taught children skills. Those who weren't academically there, it taught them life skills. They were able to use their hands to make baking pans, to make blocks, to do furniture, those kinds of things. And so they transformed all the secondary schools into, all the community high schools into secondary schools, leading everyone to do CXC. And so we have the confusion that we have. Luckily for this nation, the coalition stepped in, and in less than 5 years, we were able to do some turning around. But you know what? The big bad Priya is back. You know what? What got me today with the message is the get. The get was the part that got me with our response. And this is who Priya is. Outside of what Dharamlal is telling her there, if you look at what they have now stepped out to implement, no visitors must go into schools to give donations and so on into schools without the approval of central ministry. And this is saying to us that we are not going slowly, but we are plunging very quickly into a dictatorship state where the authority of head teachers has now been cut off. You have to send to central ministry and to your regional education officers for them to approve a student coming to donate something to the school, for them to approve your guest speaker at your graduation, for them to approve some influential person coming to talk, to do moral talks with your children. Where are we? Where is the democracy that they talk about? But you know what, Mark? I want the viewers to understand that this thing is not about a one person. This is shutting completely out of the school systems all the coalition MPs, because if you recognize, coalition MPs were returning to their schools and they were having moral talks, especially when we were having the hyping up and the real heating up of the Venezuela crisis. Our MPs were going out there into schools. And so this is a form of shutting our MPs out, shutting the Nigel Hugheses out, shutting out some of these influential persons who don't sing the same song like Priya Manikchan and her good friend Dharamlal and the others. They want to completely shut you out from the school system. But let me say this, as General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union, they will really have a fight with me, because as General Secretary, you can't tell me I'm not permitted to go into schools, and the head teacher got a call and get approval for me to go into schools. So they better ensure that they get that one right.
Yeah, they can do that to with unscrupulous individuals, especially those wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies, which I agree. Those folks should not have access to our young minds. But Priya Manikchan lashback, as we would say in Guyana, she came right back at Dharamlal, and she said, Dharamlal, just get. In other words, she is chasing Dharamlal. For those who have been out of Guyana for a while, she said, get out of here, go, you no good, just leave. She said,
I think you're chasing a dog, Mark. Get from here.
Get, go, gun, get, move, right? And so she continues. One interested in the president's well-being would behave very differently. The manteca and repairs of regional schools and dorms come under the direct purview of local government. In other words, you know what she's doing there? Putting all the blame of the dorm fire on. What do you think of this? I'm enjoying this public spat. I'm enjoying it. What do you think of this? Are you surprised at them scratching each other in public?
It's just a matter of time before they come out public. But this has been happening for the longest while. It seems as if Priya is the problem child. Priya and quite a lot of our colleague ministers, they don't get along. I remember when Dharamlal was there as Minister of Local Government. There were so many issues that we were having in the schools and continue to have in the schools, and she could not relate to her colleague minister. when it was time for the National Athletics Championship, she could not relate to her colleague Minister of Sports, nor could she relate to her colleague Minister of Local Government to have a combined effort between the three ministries to ensure that the athletes were better prepared to come to sports. Two, she could not get them to support her in contributing monies when they cried out that the Ministry of Education did not have enough funding. She couldn't get them to assist her. So Priya seems to be the problem child amongst that bunch. And it's only a matter of time before others come public with her.
All of them are problematic in my book. All of them are problem for the nation. But just imagine, though, if they can behave like this publicly, scratch each other, ready to joke up each other publicly. Can you imagine what goes on behind the scene, these guys?
Well,
can you just imagine? Let's move on. We can just imagine. We know what happens behind. Now, take a look at this. Your friend is saying here now, he's urging teachers not to strike. He's saying to teachers, he feels he has influence over teachers, that they've robbed the nation, they haven't paid the teachers properly for 20-something years, but he feels he could talk to the teachers now and say, do not strike. What is your take on this, Nima?
You know, like everything else, Mark, and the viewers who are watching us, we know this guy. Everybody know this guy. We know him inside out. We know this is the guy who doesn't settle anywhere. He flips, he flops, he turns over. Everything you can think about, he does that. And so teachers are not worried with what he is saying. What teachers have concluded is that he has a space and so he can talk. Because by the time he was finished with that press conference, teachers posted what he said in 2018. Teachers posted the videos and the parts of his press conference when he was lambasting the coalition government that they should talk to the teachers and teachers deserve better. And the strike is not political, the strike is legal, and teachers have a right to go out there, and he was urging parents to come out and support teachers. And the funny thing is, the conditions that we were arguing for and agitating for in 2018 are the same conditions and even worse that we're agitating for now. So teachers are not going to bother with this crazy guy. He has lost momentum. He has lost everything. And so we're not worried with the shout there. I don't know, it seems as if we're having some issues there. Mark, are you hearing me? Yes, like I was saying earlier, and I think we're having some issues there. But viewers, we ask that you support the teachers. And let me say this to you. The teachers have been asking yesterday at a meeting, what is it that we would have done wrong? What sin have we committed that is causing this government to punish us the way they are punishing us? And then by the time that teacher was finished asking the question, another teacher got up and she said, you look around. Look around. The majority of the teachers within the teaching fraternity are Afro-Guyanese teachers. And it is presumed that Afro-Guyanese teachers, that the majority of our teachers who are Afro-Guyanese are supporters of the coalition. And so that is their way of punishing us. And they don't mind stifling and punishing their own supporters who are teachers so that they can continue to stifle Afro-Guyanese teachers. And the same thing, they related the same thing to other public servants, the nurses and other public servants. And so these people are a wicked set of people. And we have got to be able to band together to stamp these people out because they are no good for Guyana. At one time, the strike is legal. But when they are in government, the strike is illegal. And you know what? I shouldn't say that I'm disappointed with the Minister of Labor, but what I would want to say is that the Minister of Labor is really, really misrepresenting the ministry that he is the head of, because he doesn't understand what labor is. And so, he can't really represent, but what he has to do is to sing for his supper, because if he changes his mouth, then he will have to pack up and either call a taxi or walk out of that ministry.
All right. I haven't seen any statement coming out from the coalition, but you can correct me. Are they in full support of this teacher strike from Monday?
Well, the coalition is in full support. I think a statement was issued today from the desk of the opposition leader, crying shame at this government and saying to them, pay the teachers. We have oil money. Pay the teachers. Why you allowed it? Mark, let me say to you, the issue with GTU and the government is an issue that spans 2020 to now, where the government, they have totally ignored us. We have tried every single trick in the book. We have been patient with them. The last meeting we attended with Gail Teixeira and Sonia Parag and Priya Manikchand is when Gail Teixeira was bold enough to say to us, I'm sorry, but we don't have any information to give to you at this time. There's nothing that finance has said to us, so we don't have anything to say to you. And these meetings would have been running for like 3 months or more. And that's what she had to say to us. We wrote the Ministry of Labor. As a matter of fact, we kept them abreast with all that was happening. We wrote to them in last year asking for conciliation. We highlighted the fact that we are now at a stalemate. So we're asking for them to step in and have conciliation. When that time would have passed, the 14 days or the 12 days, we wrote them again asking for arbitration. We got no response from them, except for last Thursday, the Ministry of Labor called us to say they misplaced our letters and they're asking if we would be kind enough to those letters. Could you imagine that? We have almost 16,000 teachers in this country, and you're saying you would have misplaced 2 letters that were sent to you by the representatives of the teachers of this country.
All right, Ms. Carter McDonald, Shadow Minister of Education with us. She's also General Secretary of the Guyana Teachers Union. Guys, look, the protest, the strike is starting from Monday, right?
Starting Monday.
I noticed somebody with the name Bundari Crab, man, isn't optimistic on the opposition at all. But Bundari Crab, let us wait and see before you start. And mind you, this is not like a church program, but we try to keep it respectful here. Please, Bundari Crab. We try to keep it very respectful. Good evening to all of you who are now joining us, but let's get back to...
And not...
Go ahead, Ms. McDonald. Yeah, go ahead,
for
please.
some support. While we're looking to the opposition for some support, I need to remind all and sundry that our strike is not a political strike. It's a teacher's strike, and we are striking for bread and butter issues, basic bread and butter issues. When you look at the salaries that teachers carry home, an AM, when you look at her salary, and when you take into consideration rent, transportation, food, clothing, internet, electricity, water, teacher by halfway the month, teachers can't survive anymore. They have to go and ask somebody from some relative overseas to send for them. They borrow monies from somewhere. I mean, why do we have to have our teachers living hand to mouth? Let me put it that way. Why? It should not be. Teachers in Guyana are doing 2 and 3 jobs. Some teachers in the afternoons when they leave school, they go on to a night job. On weekends, they have another job just to make ends meet. Why do we have to treat our teachers that way? And it is not a case that our teachers aren't producing. Look at our results for grade 6 exams. Look at our results at CAPE and CSEC. And you don't recognize that teachers are doing something worthwhile, but this government, we recognize that they are wicked. Imagine The sugar workers have been getting all the attention that they want. As a matter of fact, just day before yesterday, I think it was, the president and the minister with responsibility for finance, they were going to engage GAU, the union that represents the sugar workers, but they're not prepared to speak to GTU and the GPSU. Why is that so? And then they have the whole big brand there that talks about one Guyana. Sometimes I wonder whether it's a 1 or a 2 or a 3. But I guess the spot today is telling us that there's no, it's confirming, as a matter of fact, that there's no one Guyana.
Absolutely none whatsoever. The spat that Ms. McDonald is referencing. We see here Manik Chan and Dharmlal in Facebook clash over performance in office. This is the sort of clash, and it's widespread. There are other ministers, so-called ministers, who are fighting amongst each other, pulling cutlass, pulling knives, and all manner of things at each other. And we're seeing this here, the two of them going at each other. Manik Chan, I think Manik Chan gave him an uppercut when she said, "Get, go." So Manik Chan she won that round. She won the final round. She won it. Chase him like a dog, and he chased her back like a dog. Meanwhile, 20 school children, no justice at all. They had a fake commission of inquiry that has not delivered any justice, and point fingers in terms of the Ministry of Local Government, Dharamlal's ministry when he was a minister, and Priya Manik Chan's ministry. Your take on this just concluded so-called commission of inquiry?
Well, you know, when we saw the commission being commissioned, we at that point had no faith in the commission. Even before the commission was commissioned, the entire area was cleared. And we're saying, before it was cleared, you had Priya Manik Chan walking on the surface there. You had the Prime Minister, who ought to have known better, walking on the surface there. So it's clear that they did not want to have a commission that would actually bring out exactly what happened. Secondly, when we looked at the persons who formed part of the commission, we knew that there was going to be a cover-up. We knew that. Thirdly, if you look at the TORs, the terms of reference that the commission had to work with, you recognized then that public servants were going to be made the scapegoats, because it did not allow for any of the ministers to be questioned, to be called into the commission of inquiry to offer any testimony or to offer any evidence. So right there and then we recognize this is just a sham, and it's another way of putting monies into people's pockets. And so there it's it. You have 20 precious indigenous lives gone down the drain, and who they put the blame on? The former regional education officer and the fire chief, when we should have been calling in the Minister of Local Government, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Home Affairs. Those are the people who should come there to answer the regional executive officers, because the fire chief doesn't spend money. The regional education officer doesn't spend money. She has to get the okay, and the check has got to be written and signed by the Ministry of Local Government, by the regional executive officer. So I don't understand why is it that we are blaming those two persons. But I noticed the Minister of Home Affairs took shame out of his eyes, and he asked for a review for the fire chief, because he recognized, I mean, he got a little bit, say he doesn't have a heart, but at least his conscience bothers him. But I see this girl Priya asking for no review for her education officer. As a matter of fact, they sent the chief education officer there to throw the regional education officer under the bus. So it's a whole set of heartless people. And you know, I don't want people to say I'm racist, but look at the two persons who were found guilty and who there are recommendations against. Look at the two Afro-Guyanese. And you know, these two individuals have been working their soul cases out in their different fields. But the PPP again, Priya, who's the goddess, I saw earlier this afternoon, the goddess of fire, first minister of education in the land of Guyana, that has so many fires under her belt. And now she has added another championship belt, 20 lives.
Looks as though she doesn't wear a belt. But let's get back to, thank you. Let's get back to this here, the hypocrisy from this guy. 23 plus years, they've neglected teachers, didn't pay teachers properly, run down schools all over the country. Under his presidency as well.
All over.
All over.
Yes.
But look what the audacity though, right? He's urging teachers not to strike. Do not strike.
Not to strike.
Teachers aren't listening to this vagabond. They're not. But speak to us about this, the hypocrisy, please.
Well, like I said earlier, people don't listen to this guy. As a matter of fact, let me back up a little. I had a conversation with two young men today. And you know what they were saying? They were saying what they were questioning. Why is it that Azruddin Mohammed has got to go to schools to donate printers and laptop computers, and he's got to give to school microwave oven and these kinds of things? Why is it that the Ministry of Education is not providing these facilities for the schools? Why is it that corporate sponsors, whoever they be, they got to come into schools and do these things? So I was highlighting to them, especially in the hinterland, that this is one form of the PPP, one of their ways of stifling persons. Now, if you give to the schools in the hinterland, especially laptop computers and printers, then you'll have to give them internet. And once you give them internet, it means you're giving them access to the outside world. And the PPP are a dark set of people. They don't want people to be enlightened. And that was one of the reasons why you see they did not facilitate higher learning in some communities. You see, only when we got the Berbice campus there, the university campus in Berbice, because they felt that they should not allow for higher learning, because once you get exposed to higher learning, your thinking process changes. And that is why they continue to plug monies into sugar, because they're keeping the sugar workers down there. They don't want them to be educated. So whenever they go around, they tell them what they think they want to hear so that they can continue to get their votes. But this hypocrite of a man who has decided that Coretta McDonald wants to have this strike, and she's pushing this strike for political gains, it's not holding water. It's not holding water. And well, it's not Barajagyo alone, you know. Priya Manikchand is there pleading with the teachers. Joseph Hamilton is there pleading with the teachers. I noticed the chief education officer too. He has written to the head teachers and the deputies and the leadership team and all teachers, citing to them that Coretta McDonald is calling on them to strike. You know, so I visited his office today and I said, is Coretta McDonald the GTU? He said, no, you're not GTU, but I have to put your name in the letter. I said, why do you have to put my name in the letter? I did not put your name in any letter. So why? He said, yes, because you're MP, so I got to put your name. So when I put your name MP, the letter can get more weight. I said, well, sir, you just missed the bus, because teachers are not buying what you're saying. So the thing is, they're all scared. And my concern is, if you are so confident that you have been doing all of these nice things for teachers in less than 3 years, why are you up and about and threatening teachers? You know, our teachers in Essequibo, on the Essequibo coast, they've called to say, we can't come on the streets, and we might not be able to come out every day because we have been called and threatened. We've been called and threatened. And you know, the Essequibo coast is highly political. Region 3 is somewhat highly political. And so those teachers have received several calls and messages from the chief education officer, from other ministers, and from other PPP goons threatening them. But let me say to you, the union, the central exec officers are fully behind our teachers. As a matter of fact, we have already contracted the services of a battery of lawyers, and we are there to support all of our teachers. So parents, let me say to you, as of Monday, our teachers will be withholding their services. If you want to send your child to school, it is at your own risk. Our teachers have to struggle, and this struggle is a real and wicked one. And we will band together so that we can fight this good fight. At this time, we have decided it's either we do or we die. And we have decided that we will not die. We will band together.
Well said. 8:57, 9:57 Guyana time. My hiccups with the likes of Azardine going into school and unlock the microwave or whatever. You got to keep in mind that these things are not acceptable, should not be acceptable, especially with the likes of Azardine Mohammed, who is said to be wanted by U.S. law enforcement agencies for drugs, for money laundering, for gold smuggling, for assassination, for terrorism. These things ought to be unacceptable. Not even a microwave should be accepted from the likes of Azardine Mohammed in light of the serious allegations, mind you, leveled against him. And the allegation that
you know, Mark, I wouldn't want to pronounce on the individual, but I'm saying if the government, because we're having lots and lots of monies, the education ministry alone is $100
You guys have been saying that.
billion.
There's no excuse
If
at
you
all.
don't want other people to give,
it should not be accepted at all.
I hear you on that, but I'm saying if the ministry provides for us, then other people will not have the opportunity to come and do it. So fix it right, Priya Manichand. If you don't want other persons to give, fix it right.
Fix it right on both sides. Two wrongs never make. Fix it right
on both sides.
Don't allow.
Fix it right on both sides.
Simple. It shouldn't be condoned at all. Period. Not saying that you're condoning it, but how optimistic that you thinking that this strike is going to be a success story? What are you hearing? You're on the ground.
Well, you know, Mark, let me say to you, I am confident that we are going to hit where it really hurts, because I've been on the ground. This entire week and last week, we've been having meetings with our teachers all across this country. As we speak, our teachers are engaged in several Zoom meetings where central officers are addressing them, and our teachers are ready to go. Those who are not willing to come on the streets, they are going to be remaining in their homes. They will stay at home because our teachers are fed up. They are tired. We submitted a proposal that was supposed to span 5 years, 2019 to 2023. In 2020, we submitted, we resubmitted, we submitted again and again, and 2023 came and went. We got in 2020, we got no salary increase. In 2021, I can't remember whether we got a salary increase. In 2022, we got a shove down 8%. And then in 2023, we got a push down 6.5%. And so this is not a matter that we can continue to sit idly by and accept. And may I remind all that the Guyana Teachers Union is the only recognized body that has the authority to speak for teachers and on behalf of teachers. So the president, we saw him joining the bandwagon like Barry Jangio, being very disrespectful to have selected 100 teachers of their choice who they took to State House. And you know what? The teacher said they asked me what is bothering me. They didn't ask me what is bothering my colleagues. They asked me what is bothering me, and I told them what was bothering me. So how do you expect to use the measuring stick of 100 teachers who spoke on their own behalf to measure every teacher's need with that stick? Real high-class hypocrisy.
There's a listener, Tony Hack, saying here, hey, Mark, ask the guest, Gertrude McDonald, for info concerning the strike. And for how long? How long do you think the strike is set?
Well, we are going to go as long as the government wants us to go. Let me say that the GTU is prepared, and we have already put systems in place to ensure that our teachers will be able to look after, let me put it in those words, our teachers, because we know how wicked this government is, and they would go after teachers' salaries. But we are ready and willing to stand by our teachers to offer some form of assistance, whether it's finances or in kind, are prepared to do that for our teachers. And I need to let you know, and our viewers know, that lots and lots and lots of support has been coming in for our teachers. Persons are prepared to come to drop off water, to drop off juice, to drop off dry goods. Persons are supporting this strike, and we will go forth without fear or favor, because I need to remind the persons, in 2018, the GTU stood there for its members, and it's no different in 2024. We will stand there, and we will stand on the outside with our members.
Well said. Just be careful who dropping off water and juice and all sorts of things. Some of them will just do it for the picture. A quick question here concerning the union, the Ghana Teachers Union. All the executives on board, the president, the vice president, the GTU, everyone seeing eye to eye on this issue?
Well, the thing is, this issue is our issue. We are all teachers. We are all teachers. And like I would say often, we all have political parties that we are aligned to and that we vote for. But this issue has nothing to do with whichever political party you're aligned to or whether your government is in power or not. And so together we will stand, and we are standing with our members. You might see some of our officers taking a little throwback posture, but we are all together in this one.
All together in this one, 4 minutes after 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What else happening on the ground before we go? Cost of living is really, really high. Ms. McDonald, I want you to take a listen to this here. Everybody can relate to it except the three parts, the three men part. But listen to this, please.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
A teacher man, a cane cutter man, and a carpenter man.
No, well, don't bother with the teacher. Don't bother with the teacher man, because the teacher man, he doesn't even have money for himself, so he won't be able to support her. He catching his hands, like the people would say.
What's going on with cost of living on the ground? Things are really, really tough in that country. An oil-rich economy. What's happening?
Mark, could you imagine the plantain that we grow right here? Mangoes and so on that we grow right here is more expensive than the grapes and the apples that we import. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine a pumpkin is $800 and $700 and $600 a slice? Don't talk about ginger. Don't talk about tomatoes. And those are crops that we grow right here, right here. And so when you used to go to the market a couple of years ago with a granger, like they would say, with $5,000, and you got a black plastic bag and a half full or 2 black plastic bags, now you go with $5,000, the bag is just about quarter or half. And so you could imagine what persons are going through who have large families. Celery is Mr. Celery. Don't talk about Bora. You know, and the Minister of Agriculture last week, we were in Parliament going through the parliamentary debates, and the Minister of Agriculture doesn't see anything wrong with the MP lamenting the fact that bora and cabbage and corral and squash, these crops that we grow right here, these cash crops, are so expensive. You know what he was talking about? Black belly sheep and pigs and chicken that they bring in and these kinds of crazy things. And he wasn't concerned.
He's talking about chicken and all these things that they import. Did he say to people that they import a lot of chickens down to Guyana?
Well, we were finding out from him about the chicken that they smuggled, the chicken that was smuggled in the ambulance. We were finding out from him and Frank Anthony what was happening there. Give us some answers.
Guyana imports chicken and eggs now? Eggs and chicken?
Well, Mark, you don't live here, so you don't know what happened here. But we got chicken that we smuggling from, I think it's Suriname, they were smuggling the chicken from. And the ambulance was blazing full speed with all the sirens on. And when the police stopped them, only to find an ambulance load of chicken, smuggled chicken.
You know what? Not because I live here or not because people don't live there mean that they know what's going on. A lot of times we know more what's going on there than people who live there. But
that
what you didn't say
is
that the allegation that it was the then mayor of Corriverton who was allegedly smuggling chicken. And the driver got knocked off. The driver got fired. It was the mayor's chicken we were hearing.
Yeah.
In that ambulance. Did you hear that? You're there on the ground. Did you hear that?
We heard that too. And we also heard, it is also rumored that he's a relative of the Minister of Agriculture.
But who lives at Bloomfield and who redo his house and his house looking big? And it's alleged that his families and friends are getting large contracts.
That is true. That is true. Mark, I could tell you, and you would know, the dam at Ulverston is mud dam. The other one going down Manchester is mud. Alness, one part of Alness going to where Junior Crawford is living is mud. But you go into Bloomfield where the Minister of Agriculture, I think I'm not sure if he's still living there. All the streets are done in that area. Every single one, because I made sure I went through there. The streets in Letterkenny, they are well done. The streets at Johns and Tane, they are well done. But when you go to places like Liverpool and Lancaster, Manchester, Ulverston,
and that track to go down at the racetrack, it's not done.
Tell me about it. Yes.
That has been there for a while now. Gosh. You know, I don't know what's happening, but I noticed the folks up Big Alness, Hochstyle side, they had thank you so much. Yeah, they had a nice protest out there. Kudos to those folks.
Yeah.
But damn, and I don't know what's happening, but
and you know, Mark, the thing is,
one second, please. But then again, go ahead. I know the Lancaster, Liverpool women, them you can't stop them. You got
the thing is, Mark, when you go down, I noticed they're doing the streets in Liverpool. But it's only one vehicle could drive it in the street at a time. If you have two vehicles coming, one has to pull in the corner as if you're going to end up in the trench so that the other one could pass. But if you go to Bloomfield, two vehicles could fly down that street.
And not all parts of Bloomfield. The opposite side, you get some problems with some people. And I know we both know Bloomfield very well. In fact, I have lots of friends went to school. Winifred Gaskin from Bloomfield, and I'm glad that you reminded me about the community high school. I don't know if you remember those days when guys who used to attend the community high school used to put on the color clothes that we used to wear from Winifred Gaskin, and then they make a U-turn and they change and cut back to the back dam and go to the those who from that area would understand what I'm talking about. But the school is in a mess. The school's education system is in a mess under Priya Manikchan. It's in a mess under the PPP regime. Everything is in a mess.
Priya
where do we go from here? You guys, one second. You guys in the opposition have been saying boots on the ground, left, right, left, right. Talk to us about boots on the ground, please.
Well, boots on the ground is still there. If you check out what's happening, every Tuesday there is a protest in front of GCOM, and so boots on the ground is still there. The only problem we're having is that some persons are finding it difficult to come out. Whether it's during their lunch break or between working hours, they can't, of course, between working hours, they can't come out. And even at lunch break, they're scared to come out because...
Are you talking about MPs can't come out?
No, not MPs, not MPs.
I don't know when was the last time I saw an MP in front of GCOM there on the Tuesday protest.
Well, I know I can speak for the last 2 Tuesdays that MPs will have been engaged at Parliament. I'm not sure, maybe MPs, and you would see...
Prior to Parliament, I haven't seen one in a while. Ask Rhonda Lane, who's there every Tuesday. Rhonda Lane is there every Tuesday.
He's
watching this program right now. When was the last time an MP went out there? Please, Rhonda Lane, let us know. Continue, Ms. McDonald.
That is true. Rhonda Lane has been there, and we have a couple of others who are always there. But don't forget, MPs have regions there that they're assigned to. And so there are times when their constituents require them to be there. And sometimes it falls on a Tuesday, because sometimes I get caught up with my Tuesdays too. But I'm not making excuses for our MPs. We should all be out there. We should try as far as possible to ensure that we are out there, even if we have to take turns or we have to rotate our weeks. We should ensure that we're out there because our people want to see us out there. But I can tell you,
since last year,
I can tell you, Mark,
not a single MP went out there.
Since last year, Mark, the year is young, and like I'm saying, I don't want to make excuses for our MPs, but we are there. We know exactly what is supposed to be done. We try to ensure that we rouse up persons when we can't get there, that we put provisions in place so that other supporters can go out there and support what is happening there. But we have to band together. We have to make the effort to come out there and to be stronger than ever, because the change we are looking to achieve can only be achievable if together all of us are out there singing the same song. If all of us are out there singing the same song.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Boots on the ground. We heard boots on the ground. Then that rally not so long ago, the cost of living rally.
Yeah.
We're waiting to see boots on the ground. People want to see boots on the ground. I know that there are MPs who are busy, maybe doing other things, but we need MPs who are busy doing the people's work. I know that you're not here to put your colleagues down. Neither am I here to put your colleagues down. I'm just saying people need to see more of your colleagues on the ground with boots. They're not seeing that at all.
And I agree with you.
Before we go, this strike, the teacher strike, is on for Monday. What is your message to parents who might be saying that their kids might be affected by this strike?
Well, to the parents who are thinking that their children are going to be affected, I want to say to all of those parents, if you love your teachers, then come out there with us on Monday. When you come out there and show your support with us on Monday, the government will get the message. And maybe by Wednesday of next week, the government will be ready and willing not only to talk to the Guyana Teachers Union, but to have that proposal signed onto and have implementation within a week of the signing of that agreement. So if you love your teachers, you'll come out there with your teachers and give them your support. As a matter of fact, if you love your teachers, you will come out there with your children to say, look, our children are prepared. We are prepared to send our children to school. The teachers are prepared to teach, but they cannot teach when they have to be holding umbrellas in the class when rain falls. They cannot continue to teach when the stairway is not good. They cannot continue to teach when there is no running water in the school and the cleaners have to be fetching water to flush the toilets, and teachers have to move from their schools to other locations to go use the bathroom if they have to use the bathroom. So parents, Come out and support our teachers. And let me tell you, our teachers are not saying boots on the ground. Our teachers are saying slippers on the ground. So parents, come out. Slippers on the ground, because we can't afford to buy boots. The boots have already been worn. Come out, support our parents as we support and fight for our cause so that we can be rewarded justly. Democracy says that we should be free to speak. We should be free to highlight the deficiencies that are plaguing us. And that's exactly what we are doing.
Are you worried that some of the executive of the Guyana Teachers Union will crumble, and we'll see Priya and Jack Dew and Irfan them suing with some of the executives? Or are you guys strong like somebody from Philip Europe? Are you guys strong like a Philip Europe?
Well, I can tell you that we are strong like a Philip Europe. And you know what? Our members, they have already signaled to us that this time, not long time. And they were referring to when we had the previous strike, and then just with a Facebook notice, they were informed that the strike was off. And they made that clear to us that it's not going to happen like that this time, because they know exactly what they have to do. Our teachers from Upper Dem, Linden, region number 10, I would want to take time off to give big shout out to our teachers in Upper Dem, because by the time you say, the teachers are ready, because you know what? They are feeling the hardship there more than anybody else. Just last week, we had almost 13 schools in Linden being closed, and the term has just started. The first week of the term, we had a school that could not open its doors. And so the teachers in Linden are suffering. Our teachers in New Amsterdam and Kanji, they are on the ball. They have been ready for a long time. Our teachers from the Buxton branch, they are ready and they're raring to go. Our teachers in Pokwani, our teachers in the North, South, and East Georgetown districts, they are ready to go. As a matter of fact, if we had asked them to start yesterday, they would have started. And our teachers all across this country, Mabaruma, Maruka, Port Kaitumo, Paramakatoy, Madia, Kato, our teachers are ready. Our teachers in Bartica, they are ready. Our teachers in Lethem, even though they are given all sorts of calls, our teachers over at St. Ignatius, our teachers in Deep South, even though they are being sent messages, they are ready to go because they feel this squeeze.
Of course they do. I'm reading the comments of all our folks here. I noticed, Brother George, Tana said food items are very expensive out in Linden, and it's expensive all across the country. And I could understand what George is talking about there as well. Folks, you've got to come out. Ignore this, the ranting of a madman, and the ranting goes like this, that he's urging teachers not to strike. And then when they don't strike, then what? You don't pay them properly. The schools, billions of dollars, we're wondering where the money goes to. And quickly, the unfinished school in Linden. Have you guys been able to address this issue here, if at all it falls within?
Well, I'm hoping that the Minister of Education would be able to address that issue. And I'm hoping that the Minister of Local Government was able to shed some light on that issue, because I could not, I had to rush off from Parliament to get some other things done. So I was not there to hear district region number 10 estimates the questions being answered that is being posed by my colleague Ganesh Paul. So I'm hoping that they will be able to answer, she would be able to answer the questions, and that Madam Priya Manik-Chan would be able to answer the questions tomorrow, because tomorrow morning education estimates are up for consideration. Of course, you know, regardless of what we say, the budget will go through. But what is going to happen is that many of the loopholes are going to be highlighted. You see, the minister has gone, she has taken on a new twist now, where she feels that buildings, structures, putting up new structures will resolve the crisis in education. But what she stopped short of saying is that the new structures are going up because they burnt them down. They burnt them so that the boys could get more jobs, and they're extending some of the timelines for some of their friends and their families, their favorites and their flatterers, so that they can get more monies. And of course, you know, the cutbacks and so on will come. And that's the whole issue. That's the business that the PPP are embarking on. And it's happening in every single ministry. It's happening. You know, could you imagine our infectious center at Lilliandale? The Minister of Health has already signaled that he's going to be closing that infectious center, and all the nurses will be transferred to the Georgetown Hospital. So I don't know if we were to have another spate of COVID, what will happen then? I don't know what will happen.
Well, you know, one of their boys want that building to buy that property, the land, and that's exactly what's happening. Honorable Minister of Shadow Minister of Education. It's soon you guys will get that opportunity. Once y'all come together in the opposition, even if y'all got wear one big boots on the ground, but y'all got to come together. Y'all got the PPP is up against the rope. They're falling on the ground. They cannot recover. They're fighting amongst themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if I hear joking up, gunshots, all kind of thing at Freedom House or office of the president. I wouldn't be surprised because we're seeing a lot of it on social media with these guys. Your closing remarks, Ms. Carter McDonald, please.
Mark, I just want to say thank you to our teachers who have been brave enough to stand there and to make those posts that they're making on Facebook. I must congratulate and shout out my assistant secretary, Brother Andrew Danraj, who is from the Kanji branch. And he has been out there. Of course, he's a PPP supporter, but he is a teacher. And at the end of the day, he has been saying to his colleagues, I can't take my party card to the supermarket. And so he has been out there and he's doing lots of lives and enlightening teachers and encouraging teachers to come out and strike, to come out and be part of this industrial action, because this business is our business. So I want to join with all of the teachers on behalf of the executive of the Guyana Teachers Union to thank you for your continued support and to reassure you that the GTU has your back. Parents, we want your support too. So come out and support us as we make this call so that we can be recognized and we can be justly rewarded for our labors.
You know, Ms. McDonald, MP McDonald, if you guys are going to be doing a reminder into the Monday's start of the Monday's teachers strike, and you're doing any program on Sunday, we are giving you guys 2 hours of free time right here in the evening. 2 hours of free time to broadcast and talk to the teachers and talk to parents and talk to students right here on one.
Thank you so much, and we'll make use of that opportunity as well.
Yeah, thank you. Free of charge.
Thank you.
Ms. McDonald, thank you so much for your time. I haven't seen you for the new year, but a prosperous new year to you, your family, and even the union and those colleagues of yours. All of them.
Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you for your support.
The ones we see and the ones we don't see. Please give them our regards.
I will. Have a good night and good night to your viewers.
Thank you. The ones we see and the ones we don't see. I got to stop with these shades. The ones we see and the ones we don't see. Getting back to this get. She chased Dharamlal, you know. That's it. Get. So as soon as you see a trench crappo here in the audience, just give them the new talk. Get. Right? You know, like you're sitting at your doorsteps. I don't know if country people, we experience it. You know, you're sitting and you're eating your food and you're, thinking it, and a dog come around you and a dog, and you turn to the dog and say, get! That's what Priya Manichan did to Dharamlal. I love that. Get! Just imagine I can't say that in the house. But just imagine Sherwin Green and all these people we driving around in Brooklyn and we just shouting, putting our heads out the window and say, get! That's what you guys got to do come elections time, right? You got to go in the voting booths, and you got to say to the PPP, get. And let me see you guys. Come on, start practicing. Especially you guys from Georgetown. Y'all got to, the get doesn't sound sophisticated, like get or get. You got to put a lot of energy in the, and then there's the facial expression, like, say for example, you see this guy in your community. Don't say just get. You say get, right? That's what you do with them. Look at this one. Just let us hear it. Get, right? This is how you dig a hollow, and it must hurt. That get, right? I recall. I mean, I feel sorry for those dogs, man. Back on the quarantine when they come in for your food and you say get, the dog. Man, I never see dogs run so fast yet. So tell these people get. When they go into your communities, tell them get. When they go to Linden, tell them get. Wherever they go, tell them get. In other words, get lost, get out, go. And I've got to go too. I heard a little whispering that there's an allegation of rape. Allegation. And because Irfan Ali is connected to the individual, the alleged perpetrator, through friendship, we are hearing something to the effect that the DPP's office sent for the file, recall the file, a recommendation of rape charge against the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator. And we're hearing that the DPP's chambers has sent for the files, recall the file. The public wants to know whether there was a direct interference into that matter. Not the Darandal rape case. We know what happened there, but there's another allegations of rape against someone who is a friend of Irfan Ali. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time. I'm out of here, guys. Just sick and tired of that country and run by a bunch of vagabonds. Sick and tired of those vagabonds. We've got to say to them next elections, get out of there. I'm out of here. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata from City, Vietnam. And since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
So this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
matrimony.
Sparkling through glorious thought of the light. All is well, Guyana's future is bright. March from money, be Republican free. March from money, big bet for you and me. March from money, it's really nice to see. Everybody rejoicing, celebrating March from money.